ES6, the set object is a built-in data structure that allows you to store unique values of any type, whether primitive values or object references. A set in JavaScript is similar to mathematical sets in that it does not allow duplicate elements and it maintains the insertion order of those elements. To create a new set, we use the set constructor and pass an iterable to it, such as an array, containing the initial values to be added to the set. Let's head over to the code and look at some examples. So here we'll create an array of items, then we'll create a new set using the set constructor, and we'll pass our new array to it. Logging that out, we can see that we now have a new set object with 3 values. What makes the set object so powerful are the many helper methods that ship with it, making management of set objects extremely simple and intuitive. Let's cover them. First up, we have the add method, which, as its name suggests, allows you to add items to your set. So in this example, we're creating a new set using the constructor, and instead of passing anything directly to it, we leverage the add method to add our items. If we log this out, we see our values have been added to the set, right? Value 1 and value 2. Next up, we have the has method, which tells us whether or not a specific value exists in the set. So looking at an example of this, we can see here we're adding 2 items to our set, value 1 and value 2. So if we log these out using the has method, we can see that those are true. We have has value 1 being true and has value 2 being true. However, has value 20 is false because there is no value 20 in our set. Next, we have a delete method, which you can probably guess removes items from the set. For an example of that, let's say we have this new set and we've added a couple items to it. We're able to remove one of those items using delete, and we can see it gets removed from the set. So if we log that, see we start here with value 1 and value 2, and then if we run delete against value 1, we can see the only thing we're left with in our set is value 2. And then we have the clear method, which is like our nuclear option. Clear will remove everything from your set. So for example, if we had a new set here and we add a couple items to it, I can simply run the clear method to remove all those items all in one line of code. If we log this out, we can see we start with 2 items, but after running clear, our set is now at 0. And finally, we have the size property, which tells us the current size of a set. This property is completely dynamic and automatically gets updated whenever the size of our set changes. So if we take a look at this example here, we start out with 3 sets. We'll log that out, and then we'll delete a value from the set, and then we'll log out the size again, and we should see that the size gets updated dynamically. So here we have 3 items in the set. That's how we start. And then we remove an item, and now we are left with just 2 items. So now that we know what the set method can do, let's talk about a few key characteristics. First off, sets are always unique and will never store duplicate values. If you were to try and add a duplicate value, that'll just be ignored. Let's check out an example. Let's say I have a set with these 2 items, and I wanted to add a 3rd item that was the same as the second item here, this value 2, right? So these, I'm going to add value 2 here, and then I'm going to try and add another value 2. Let's see what happens. See here that it just returns the exact same set, right? We don't have 2 instances of value 2 because it's forcing it to remain unique. Now, let's say I wanted to add a 3rd item now, right? Which is unique. Let's say I have a value 3, which is technically unique, right? We have a value 1 and a value 2. We don't have a value 3. If I do that, we can see that that gets added just fine. We now have a value 3 in our set. Sets also maintain the order of elements as they are inserted. This means you can rely on the order of elements when iterating over a set. So if I add a set with 2 items, and one of the items is value 2, and then the second one that I add is value 1, if I log this out, I get exactly that order, right? Value 2 being first in the set, followed by value 1. If I were to swap that order, adding value 1 first and then adding value 2, and log that out, we can see that that set now has the updated order based on how things were added into the set. Last but not least, as I stated before, sets are iterable. This means we're able to call things like for each or for of loops on them like any other iterable. So here we have a new set. We have two values in it. I can run for each against that set and see that both values get returned as we would expect. In our example here, in this for each loop, you'll notice we don't have an index parameter. That's because sets do not support accessing elements by index, since they are essentially unordered collections of values. So all that being said, right, when are sets most useful? Well, sets are useful for removing duplicate elements from arrays or other collections. Sets can be useful to check whether a collection contains only unique values. Sets are super handy for managing collections of unique items, such as a list of user IDs or unique tags. In summary, guys, sets in ES6 provide a convenient way to store unique values and perform operations such as adding, deleting, and checking for the existence of elements. They're extremely useful for managing collections of unique values and offer benefits like order preservation and efficient duplicate removal.